Looking to get into gold or silver for the first time can be very daunting. There are so many different factors at play, and I hope that in a new series that I'm creating here on YouTube, we can go through this journey together if you're new or even seasoned, to get a little bit of better understanding of what is the right course of action for you as a private individual looking to stack gold and silver. Hello everybody, Backyard Bullion here. Now today I want to start a brand new series here on my channel which is going to focus on the entire lifespan of owning gold and silver. The buying, the even pre-buying thinking that you might do, the owning, the selling even. I know a lot of people probably won't even think about selling at the start of their gold or silver journey, but it is really important. And perhaps even if you don't sell it, what happens to it down the line? So many different topics that I think are interesting and can add value to anybody who's looking to get into silver for the first time, or perhaps even to seasoned stackers out there as well. It's important to remind you all that I am not a qualified financial advisor. I am just a guy who likes to buy and talk about shiny things. I'm sharing a lot of my own opinions, my tips, hints and tricks that I've learnt as a buyer and as a stacker of gold and silver over the last 6 or 7 years of doing so. And what's right for me might not be right for you. So it's really important to kind of get a lot of those brain juices flowing and make your own decisions. So I want to start with today's episode, the first one, which is going to be the preconceptual thinking about gold and silver. Perhaps you are a seasoned stacker and you've bought a bunch in the past and these higher prices that you've seen right now put you off. But actually, with everything that's going on in the world, the craziness, the potential wars in Ukraine, or the huge fallout from the coronavirus pandemic has led you to see a lot about silver and gold, about how it could be this protective element for the future. And you want to get involved with it. You want to buy some of this stuff. There are plenty of things to think about before you even buy it. And that is something a lot of people don't necessarily do. In this fast-paced world, in this humongously, instant gratification requirement world, or instant return on investments, I think a lot of people sometimes misconstrue silver or gold as this way to make money. And my first big tip is that silver is not a way to make money quickly. You can, as many dealers do, but it's a very different game to stacking, to investing in silver. It's a way to perhaps preserve wealth over time rather than make money. So one of the big things that I would always say to people, if you are looking to either get into silver or gold for the first time, or perhaps get back into silver or gold having had a break, is why? What is the end goal here? What is it you want to achieve with your money, with the fiat currency that you have in your pocket that you will inevitably need to spend to buy this stuff? Is it to make money? Are you looking to make a quick profit, turn things around quickly, 3 months, 2 months, a month, a week even? Or is it something that you want to hold for a longer period of time because of the uncertainty that's out there? What you also need to kind of think about is how much you're going to buy. So a lot of people will think, 10, 15, 20% of a portfolio is on the high side. And to a certain degree, I would agree with that. But a lot of people will say that in these uncertain times that's actually quite a good thing to have higher proportions in that portfolio. There are a lot of people out there who've kind of gone all in on gold and silver, and that's not something I would recommend. If I had to give anything close to financial advice, it would be don't go all in on anything in this world, let alone gold and silver, physical especially. So lots of different things to factor in about the kind of macro reasoning why you want to get in and how much you're going to put in. The next question that I would argue to you is to think about is, what's the mechanism by which you're going to buy? If you've got savings and you've got other debts out there, perhaps you've got some credit cards or car payments to pay off, or a mortgage, for example, is this actually better? Is buying gold and silver better than paying off those debts? I've very, very, very strong feelings on buying gold and silver when you're debt free. If you can, the only exception to that is a mortgage. If you can get to a point where you've paid off all your credit cards, you don't have car payments to make, and perhaps your mortgage is just something that's sustainable that you've got, and you've got your sort of, your income, and then you've got disposable income on top of that, I think then that is an okay situation to do. If you're very fortunate to be mortgage free, then buying gold and silver is a great thing to do. And don't buy on credit. That's one of the big no-nos that I would say to people. Buy with a credit card, but pay that credit card off as soon as you can so there's no interest. That is definitely a viable thing. You can get cash back from various different credit card providers, and you can also have the additional buyer protection from using a credit card, but don't buy on credit. Borrowing money to buy gold and silver, or buy any investment for that matter, is a really, really risky thing to do. So with the exception perhaps of a mortgage, being debt-free is something really important. But if you've got a bunch of credit card debt, buying gold and silver is probably not the right thing to do, because the big crux of it here is that having gold and silver is great. Having physical stuff is wonderful, but it is something that carries premium with it. Now, if you don't know what the word premium means, it basically means that gold and silver has a price. It has a fixed spot price in markets, so it's worth a certain amount of fiat currency that you will get if you take your gold to somewhere. But there is a buyer's premium for physical stuff. It costs money to make these things, to press bars, to make coins. It costs money, and to deliver them, to ship them around the world, for dealers, for postage even to you. It costs money, and some more than others, depending on market fluctuations as well, demand, supply, desirability. Of course, US Eagles right now are experiencing humongously high premiums because, for whatever reason, some people think that this stuff, 1 ounce of this, is better than 1 ounce of this, when really it makes very little difference, other than that you will be playing the premium market. So have a think about whether you want to just invest in the metal. If you want to just have some of this physical metal, then perhaps buying something big and chunky like this 100-ounce bar. This will have a lower premium per ounce than 100 of these. But then comes the question of what you're going to do with this. It's just a big chunk of silver. It's going to sit there, not going to yield you anything in terms of returns, really. It's going to be pegged against the value of silver. The premium on it will be tiny and low and not non-existent, basically. So, you're going to have all of these questions about what's happening at the other end. Now, if you've thought about your goals, why you're looking to buy this gold and silver stuff in the first place, then that should inform a lot of those questions which I've posed here now. If you're looking to make a short profit, then perhaps premium coins are the way to go, because if you can find somewhere, if you're lucky enough to get a deal on these and get them cheaper than perhaps the market rate, you could then look to sell them to the communities, to various different buyers out there on the internet, for example, that might want to buy them for more than you paid for them. Then you can make a little bit of money. But otherwise, if you are stuck with, basically just bullion grade stuff like this, then maybe you're having to wait for the spot price to change. So there's a whole host of different things to sort of factor in that respect. But I think what we'll kind of keep these videos short in this series. So I'm just going to focus on this kind of macro point first. What's right for you? What do you want to achieve with your gold and silver? That's the first primary question that is imperative for people to ask themselves. It's the only thing that I think anyone should ask themselves. What are you looking to get out of this at the other end? And in my opinion, there are a few different things that you can look for. Quick turnaround profit, long-term stability, and holding this for value over time. And the third is basically just locking away money in a savings account for a rainy day, for a very long time in the future, perhaps for future generations. If that's the case, then perhaps worrying about premium stuff right now is immaterial, because who knows where the world will be in 20 years, 30 years. Well, to be quite frank, even 10 years' time right now is difficult to kind of understand and predict. So that, I think, is a good place to kind of conclude our first episode of pre-buying of silver. Thinking about what you want. Perhaps understanding the different elements that build the different parts of the silver market or the gold market, what kind of coins. Next episode, I want to talk a little bit more about the different varieties and what their actual, the sort of real kind of crux of what makes them different and why they're different and what potentially could be better or worse, for example. So lots of interesting topics to follow, and I hope that you all will enjoy this as we go throughout this series. If you've enjoyed this first episode, let me know by sharing your thoughts down in that comment section. Hit that thumbs up button as well. Otherwise, we'll see you on the next one. A big thank you to you all for watching. And as always, please make sure that you like, share, comment, and subscribe for more.